and so sometimes it might be a little blurry here, so I'll have to try to get the camera to realize where it's supposed to focus. All right, so we just mentioned.
That's so cool.
You like it? It is kind of cool. This one is blood-filled, so you can see it quite well. This is the basilar artery here. These are the posterior cerebral arteries there. Now, it's empty. There's not blood up in here. And literally, the division between the posterior cerebral arteries and the anterior cerebral arteries is right in here where the internal carotid artery, and actually I think it's ripped out, but I do have one that's intact. Internal carotid artery comes in right about here, just behind the optic tract. Can you see that okay?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Lights, dim the lights. No. Is that better?
Yeah.
I hope.
Yep.
Okay, so right behind the optic tract, right around here is where you find the internal carotid artery coming in. Literally going over top, and you can see that this does have the anterior cerebral artery going over top of the optic tract. And here it goes to the middle cerebral artery. Middle cerebral artery is a classic stroke model, but I'm not going to tell you all that stuff. It's just these are quite important. You have any kind of blocks in these locations, and you get major strokes. All right, basilar artery, posterior cerebral artery, internal carotid would come in here, anterior cerebral, middle cerebral artery. Okay, and what we have for structures here, oh my gosh, there's really nice roots of the hypoglossal nerve. Look at that, the first time you will have seen it so nicely. Those are the roots of the hypoglossal nerve. Can you see them? Okay, so what we have behind the pons here is we have the medulla oblongata, as you can see. And this is the spinal cord. But here are the roots of the hypoglossal nerve. You may see those roots on this brain for the test. Okay, we do have pons, we do have medulla oblongata, we have the trapezoid body here, we have the medullary pyramids here. What does your book call it? Medullary pyramids or pyramidal tract or what?
Wait, where are the medullary?
Okay. Medulla oblongata here. Now I'm going to move fast, but it's going to be a broken record that eventually you're just going to understand absolutely everything I say. The white tissue up underneath here is the cerebral peduncles. These are the pons. This is the pons here. Of course, we have the optic chiasm. Again, optic tracts, optic nerves are cut off.
We're missing
You're
losing you.
a little bit high now.
Oh.
The video.
Just move this.
There you go.
Something odd here. Is that okay?
That's great.
Okay. All right. So we have the olfactory bulbs up here. I just mentioned the lateral olfactory tract is here. The optic tract is here. Optic nerves are cut off. This is the optic chiasm. You can see the infundibulum here. Mammillary bodies are here. This is the oculomotor nerve, cranial nerve 3. Alrighty. Let me see if there's anything else you want to see on this one. Not really. So I'll move it. Of course, this is the piriform lobe here, and we have rhinal fissure in there. Alrighty, I'm going to move that.
Wait, can you just show us where trapezoid body is? Okay.
But I have better ones for it.
Oh, okay. So you might not test on this side, or
Oh,
just a different
trapezoid
brain?
body was not good on that one, and I will not
Okay.
test trapezoid body on that one. But it's real good on one of them that I have. Here's one that it's real good on, right here. Now here's your trapezoid body. The reason this one is so good, and you can see the ridges so well, is somebody in dissecting this pulled off the arachnoid. Now, I don't know if that's mentioned. The meninges are mentioned as your identification structures, but you have to, are they? Because you have to identify the arachnoid and the dura mater. You don't have to identify, as far as the 3 meninges are concerned. You do not have to identify the pia mater. Okay, Ariane, I don't even see your face, so you just speak up if you need me, all right? Fusan, I'm kind of the same way, like this. All right?
Arachnoid and dura, you said?
Arachnoid and dura mater, you're going to have to be able to identify. Now, the reason this is so darn good here, obvious, is because that cellophane-looking stuff, which is the arachnoid, look at it on this brain. You can kind of see that it looks glistening, it looks, does it look spider webby? In some places it does. Right here it looks spider webby. Do you see that right there, that black? That's the arachnoid. That's the spider web of the arachnoid. Is this a good background? Should I get a white background?
That's fine.
No, we can see it.
Okay. Now that is arachnoid right there, but so too is this glistening surface. Do you see that? That glistening, I could push on that, and I could literally see fluid movement underneath. It's like somebody put cellophane on this brain. That is arachnoid. Now that is covered by the dura mater. Each of these are meninges. Don't dare confuse mater, M-A-T-E-R, Latin for mother, with matter, M-A-T-T-E-R, white and gray. All right. Now I'll show you dura mater in a little bit, but I want to go back to this medulla oblongata that has an incredibly well revealed trapezoid body. Do you see that? That ridge, that raised area? Shall I zoom in? Is it better if I zoom in for you like that? Tell me.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
do
it's
you
that
see
ridge.
this raised area here? That is the trapezoid body. What is this raised area here? Quickly.
Pons.
Of course. So that's the pons right there, but back behind that to here is the medulla oblongata, the whole thing. Look at that trapezoid body. Look at these medullary pyramids. They're much more apparent because the arachnoid has been removed. You see beautifully here, this is not the beautiful one. Right here, that stump, it's quite apparent. That's the trigeminal nerve.
That whole thing.
Yep. Now that will trifurcate into 3 branches. This right here, look at this beautiful facial nerve. These are the rootlets of the facial nerve. Do you see them? You want me to zoom in further?
Yeah.
These are the rootlets of the facial nerve. And this is the trapezoid body, don't forget. That's the pons. There's your trigeminal nerve stump. These 2 stumps right here are your vestibulocochlear nerve, your auditory nerve. These 2 stumps are vestibulocochlear. This is facial, this is trigeminal. Okay, I go over here, I see a beautiful facial over here.
Oh, we
You
can
see it?
There
That's
you
the disadvantage of going at such high mag. I get out of view real fast. But there we go, look at those rootlets. That's the facial nerve. And there's the stump of the trigeminal. Alrighty?
And then what was the other one?
Auditory.
Auditory.
Yeah, right there.
Thank you.
Alright. You can see that peeled back is, the white is dura mater for sure. It looks like the arachnoid is peeled back as well. Excuse me. I had to spit this gum out. I get a little bit allergic to that menthol stuff after a while, whatever it is. All right. Ooh, that is good. Wow. Holy mackerel. Big. All right, now I'm going to zoom back out. You don't need it that zoomed in. I think you'll lose perspective. All right, on this one, you can see really well. The mammillary bodies are here. Again, it's because the arachnoid is peeled off. This is so obvious. It doesn't look split. Now, you would see in a human brain that truly it is split and looks like breasts. But the fact is that here it doesn't. It doesn't look divided. But this is the mammillary bodies. And I should say these are, but this whole area right here. This is tuberosinarum, right here. I want to say that that is pretty much the equivalent of median eminence. If anything, that little ridge right there revealed as median eminence. But tuberosinarum. That slit right there goes all the way up. This is where infundibulum would be attached, but is gone. That slit goes all the way up. It is the ventral portion of the 3rd ventricle.
I got a quick question.
Yep.
For infundibulum, it's not the hole there?
No.
Yeah, I thought infundibulum was the whole.
Nope.
Yeah, because in the diagram here, it shows it.
Nope.
So what's the other one?
Well, that's why you have me. Oh my gosh.
So infundibulum should cross out and put the other one?
No, don't cross anything out, just know the reality. And the reality is, infundibulum, literally, you learn this in 220, but it's becoming apparent here, is the stalk connection, is a physical connection, and it's really the axons coming from the supraoptic and paraventricular nuclei. Their terminations are in the posterior lobe of the pituitary. So it is the axons, the bundle of axons, myelinated axons, leaving the hypothalamus, terminating in the posterior pituitary, on capillaries for that matter. That's the infundibulum. It's the bundle of axons. Kind of cool. It's like a nerve, if you will. And yeah, it kind of, it comes down like I may have mentioned this to you in 220, it comes down like a tornado. Tornado seems to have a hollow, but the hollow is not the tornado.